And so the plan originally was to leave at 6:30. However, we arrived at 6:30 because somebody thought we needed to be here an hour and a half before the park opens. Good morning from Disney's Animal Kingdom. We are back with another rope drop video, and today we are at...
Does that say Animal Kingdom?
Yes.
It's very early.
Oh my gosh. Okay, we gotta hurry up and go get in line. Let's rope drop. So let's talk a little bit just about rope drop at Animal Kingdom, because it can be a little confusing if you haven't done it before. So we got here, like I said, entirely too early. Security opened at 7 since the park opened at 8. And then early entry is going to be at 7:30. They did let us know that they're going to let everybody in, like start scanning into the park at 7:15. So kind of, I know like park hours are going to be different depending on when you come, but that might give you a little bit of a timeline. I will have a cheat sheet in the description that kind of gives you a little play-by-play of how we do our morning, so be on the lookout for that. But basically the goal is we are rope dropping Pandora. We are here for regular park entry. We are not here for early entry. So when we go into the park, they're going to have all of the early entry guests go to the left and all of the regular park guests go to the right. And that's where they're going to hold everybody until it's actually time to let people into the park. So just be aware that, like, depending on where you're going, there will be signs and cast members telling you where to go. Just make sure you kind of are aware that if you are here for early entry, you're going left. If you're here for regular park open, you're going to go right. Take it in finger to get that green light. I got 2 to use, so 2 people can go. Try not to push really hard. Awesome. You got it. Thank you. We made it. We definitely were like the first ones over here.
See, it pays to get here early.
I guess. Except now we have to stand here for 45 minutes, so.
It's fine. One of the things that I do really love about rope dropping Animal Kingdom, especially like if you're not an early entry guest, is it gives you some time to like look in these trails and stuff, look at some of the animals. I don't think any of them are awake quite yet this morning, but I saw a duck and there were some Florida native birds that call Animal Kingdom home, I guess, but you can check those out.
I did notice, though, that they are already letting the early entry guests in. So my guess is that they are letting everybody go ahead and go and line up. And then that way at 7:30, they can start to cycle people through, which I do really appreciate because I feel like that helps like people to actually take advantage of that full 30 minutes. So I would say if you are here for early entry, it does pay to get here
100%.
An hour before the park opens. So if you are planning on doing rope drop, this is what I would do. If you are here for early entry, I would get here about 30 minutes before early park entry starts or 1 hour before the regular park open time. If you are here for regular rope drop, so regular park open, I would get here about 45 minutes beforehand. This is going to give you enough time to make sure that you're kind of ahead of the crowds, so that way you can be kind of one of the first ones heading to those rides so that you can kind of skip the lines as best as possible. If you come later, you absolutely can. Just know that the crowds are definitely going to be a lot thicker. Like this whole area is going to be filled up by the time we get to park open time. So the earlier you can get here, the better. A little less stressful too. We have made it into line, so it is 8:06. We got in line at 8:05. I think last I looked, the wait time said it was about an hour. I don't think it'll actually be that long, but clock starts now. We'll see how long it takes.
A good reminder, and this is a general rule of thumb when you're rope dropping pretty much any attraction at any park, is that normally in like later in the day and like not so much in the morning basically, is that lightning lane, yes, people do have lightning lanes for right now, but generally speaking, people that have purchased a lightning lane, whether it's a single pass or a multi-pass, they're probably not rushing to their lightning lane return time window. They're probably rope dropping another ride that they don't have a lightning lane for, and then they're gonna come back and use their lightning lane So case in point for Flight of Passage, that's what we're rope dropping. Yes, there will be people entering the lightning lane, but not nearly as much as like a little bit, like give or take like an hour after park open. So keep in mind that like, yes, the standby line may look long, but there's probably not as many people funneling through that lightning lane that they're having to merge with the standby queue. So it typically will go a little bit faster than later in the day. It's not always a guarantee, but the lightning lane can get backed up, especially if there was any downtime for that specific attraction. Just, you know, if it goes down for weather or whatever the case may be, that lightning lane can and probably will get bogged up. So that's just even more people that they're having to kind of bypass in that standby lane.
So we've officially been in line for about an hour, and we're in the glowy room. I think we probably have about a 20-minute wait left until we get to the pre-show. Now, I will say, our goal is to go get breakfast at Satu'li, which closes at 10. I think we should be okay. I think we should get off in time. Okay, we've made it into the very, very, very last room before they split us up to go into the pre-shows. It is 9:27, so we waited about an hour and 25 minutes. Definitely a little longer wait than I anticipated. We are going to talk a little bit more about that once we get off the ride. I'm hoping we still have 30 minutes. I'm hoping if we can get off the ride before 10 o'clock, hopefully we can still get some Satu'li. Okay, we've made it to the part where they are putting people into the pre-show. It's 9:30. I finally got enough service to put in a mobile order. So I'm hoping that we can make it. I really want to get breakfast.
Riding on the back of a banshee by being genetically matched and linked to an avatar. Using avatars to fly this way was all figured out by my boss, Dr. Jackie Ogden. She leads our science team, which is part of the Pandora Conservation Initiative, and we're here in the Valley of Moara studying banshees and their environment. Okay, to get you flying on a banshee, we need to find each of you an avatar. Let's prep the genetic sampling.
I'm on it.
Okay, first we need to find the compatible match of your genetic material with the genetic material of one of the avatar bodies that we already have. Once we do that, you'll be able to link to that avatar and fly. Help us out and move around a bit. Almost. Yes, got him.
You ready?
I'm ready. Sivako, rise to the challenge. We have made it to Satu'li Canteen for the grand return of Satu'li Canteen breakfast. We have not had breakfast here since, Kayla and I have not had breakfast here since 2017. I think they got rid of it in like 2018, maybe 2019, they discontinued breakfast, but it's back. And making its grand return is this goat cheese. I forget the exact name of it. We'll put it down below, but it has like the beef and then a little side salad and then a big old glob of goat cheese on top. So I'm just gonna kind of like spread this goat cheese around.
I would also just like to say Mark Allen talks about this particular meal like very, very often.
It's very true. So this is basically like an omelet, like, but in more like a quiche shape with that goat cheese. I'm just gonna try this by itself. Oh my God.
Are you so happy?
Yes. It's so good. You get that nice like tanginess of the goat cheese and then the egg and then there's bell pepper throughout it. It's so good. And I think they also brought, there for a while on the normal like build your own bowls, they changed the beef to like almost like a skirt steak situation that was, it didn't have like any of that pink in it and it just was not as good. But this looks like it's the original beef that they used to have. This also does have a chimichurri sauce. So
Has all of your dreams come true?
yes. Thank you for listening, Disney, for once in your life.
They do also have several new dishes, including this cinnamon French toast situation. It has like a blueberry cream cheese sauce on top, and then it also comes with some sausage. So I am gonna get a bite with a little bit of that blueberry and the cream. That's good. I would say it's pretty basic as far as like French toast goes, but it does have a little bit more of that cinnamon roll flavor, and the blueberry kind of gives it a little bit of fruitiness on top, so it's not just completely the sugary sweet. You have a little bit of that fruity sweet too. Yeah, the sausage is good too.
I think the real question that everyone wants to know, is it better than a Mickey waffle?
They're not even the same thing.
Okay.
This doesn't taste like a Mickey waffle at all. This is like total, this I would say is, it's more comparable with like a cinnamon roll than a waffle. But it is good. If you're more into like the sweets for breakfast, this is a good option. We did make it to breakfast just by like the skin of our teeth. I literally was walking out and there was 5 minutes left. I was like, I'm here. So it was ready by the time we made it over there. Thank goodness. So we gotta try breakfast.
Yeah, at this time, Satu'li Canteen does stop serving breakfast at 10 a.m. So we still have yet to do Navi River. That is next on our agenda. But I would say Satu'li Canteen is definitely a great option.
It's a good option. I still don't think that it's my favorite breakfast in this park, but I think if Pandora is the land that you are rope dropping, I am pleased that they do now have a pretty decent breakfast option. Again, you just kind of have to time everything.
Right.
Now, I will say, as far as like our strategy this morning, it's so far feeling a little bit like a bust. It's currently 10:30 and we still need to do Navi, which right now it says it's a 40-minute wait, so we'll see how that one goes. I think that if you are doing early park entry, then I definitely think that coming and doing Flight of Passage and doing Navi first thing in the morning is going to be advantageous. The line is going to be a lot shorter. I think we ended up waiting like an hour and a half, pretty much.
Yeah, give or
which
take.
is honestly the longest I've ever waited for that ride. Make sure you stick around till the end of the video because I'm going to talk a little bit more about like how I prefer to do Pandora, so that you can hopefully not wait an hour and a half for that ride and also not have to pay for Lightning Lane. We have officially made it into line. Mark Allen has his timer set. When we got in line, it said the wait was going to be about 40 minutes. Looking at kind of what it looks like, it does seem like that's going to be pretty accurate. I'm just hoping that it's not going to be longer. But we shall see, because the last one was definitely longer. This is definitely the longest I've ever waited for these rides, so you're welcome. We made it off of Navi River Journey. The wait was like 40 minutes on the dot.
Yeah.
So wait time was pretty accurate. I am glad that it wasn't longer.
Yeah, because sometimes that can happen where like the wait time basically goes up like right when you get in the queue, and it's just kind of a timing thing. But yeah, it was truly a posted 40 minutes, and we waited 40 minutes. So
yeah, so it wasn't great, but I was just glad it wasn't longer, because the first one was definitely a lot longer than I anticipated it being. I would say overall, this particular strategy, at least for regular park open, I think is a bust.
yeah, I think if you're someone that has early entry and you're staying at a Walt Disney World resort, definitely this is a park to definitely take advantage of it. But I mean, it took us, what time is it now? 11?
11:30.
11:30. Granted, I understand that we did stop for breakfast, and that maybe ate up like half an hour.
But even still, we got here, and I mean, the day is like half over pretty much.
Yeah.
And we've only been in this one land. And so I think, and we come to Animal Kingdom a lot, and we do a lot of different strategies, but truthfully, I think that if you're coming for regular park entry, essentially starting the other way, starting in Dino Land or starting at Everest and doing some of that area of the park where there's not a ton of people,
Yeah.
you can knock all that out usually within the first couple hours, and then you have the rest of the day to
Right.
go watch shows. And then I usually like to end in Pandora, which this is kind of my little hack, and if you've been watching our channel for a while, you've probably heard me talk about it, but it's reverse rope drop. Reverse rope drop is where you get in line for a ride right before the park closes,
Right.
because typically you're going to have a pretty low wait. I would say as long as you get in line for Navi River Journey by about an hour and a half before park close, you can usually get that knocked out and then jump in the Flight of Passage line. And that Flight of Passage line, I don't think I've ever waited more than like maybe 20 or 30 minutes doing it that way. Again, that's like an hour of your time, whereas we spent a good 3 hours
Yeah.
or so. But that is also why we are doing this series, is so that we can kind of test out a lot of different rope drop strategies so that you can maybe see what's going to work best for you and your trip, because different situations are going to call for different things. Again, like I said a million times in this video, if you're doing early entry, this is a good strategy.
Yeah.
We've learned today. I think this is my first time rope dropping Flight of Passage, though, for regular park hours. And
Yeah.
so it was kind of a good experiment to see, because typically that's the ride that most people are going to go for, and that's the ride most people are going to tell you to go for.
Yeah.
So it was kind of nice to test that out for you, show you that maybe that isn't the best option.
Yeah. And make sure you're subscribed, because we are going to be doing this at all 4 parks and trying different strategies where like you start in one land versus another. So we are going to be back at Animal Kingdom probably once Dino Land closes to try out, because that's going to be closed for all of 2025 pretty much. So that's definitely going to switch up some strategies. So
But make sure you are subscribed, because we are going to do more of these. We'll try out rope dropping Kilimanjaro. We have already done one in Hollywood Studios where we rope dropped Rise of the Resistance. So if you missed that video, that'll be linked in the description. You can go watch it after this one. But that is all we have for you guys today. Now go create your ever after.